Okay, welcome to the Canterbury School of Visual Arts online resource. This is a tutorial which demonstrates how you can take either two-dimensional objects and render them in 3D on screen. It's very simple, can work with shapes and can work with letters. We did cover this in one of our lessons, but it's just a recap so that you can use this in your own projects. Okay, here we go. So we can start very quickly by drawing up just a free form shape using paths. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create just any kind of polygon there. Okay, and I'm going to colour that up as red. Take the stroke off. Okay, so here we go, there's my shape. Very, very simply, all we need to do here is to go onto Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel, and that will now allow us to look. If we click on the preview, it will allow us to be using this in 3 dimensions and rotating it live on screen. Okay, once you've got an angle you kind of quite like, what you can then do is you can look at the extrude depth, which actually makes it even deeper on screen there for you, and here gives you your perspective. So we can then apply a perspective to that, which is really quite effective, really, looking at different angles. You can see that the shading is actually quite tricky to achieve. You know, it's a difficult thing. What you can do, you can actually look at more options down here, and that will give you your plastic shading. You can then alter where you want your light source to come from, how much your ambient light is. So we can up that, and it will give you a greater or less contrast or more contrast between light and darks. But once the idea there is that you can actually look at things live on screen until you're happy with them. Okay, so if I was happy with that, I would then do OK, and it would remain an object that I can work with. In fact, if I rotate it, it will. Okay, we can rotate it manually on itself. If I then wanted to go in and change that again, what I need to do is come to here, where it's the appearance panel. Okay, and then I can just click on that and then come down to here, and there's my extrude and bevel that I've just applied. So what I can do is I just click on that. It doesn't revert it, but what it's doing is it allows us to then edit that shape again. So if I wanted to tweak it in some way, rotate it, or change the effect of it, we can do that by doing that. Okay, so that's with a shape. Now if we wanted to then revert that, if we didn't want that to be a live shape anymore, we could then object and expand that appearance, which turns it just into paths. Okay, when you're working with type, the tendency is to actually use your type here. We'll just change that to something bold. Use impact. Let's make it a bit bigger. What we can do there with this one, what we're going to do with it, is change the colour of that again to something we can see. Okay, and then just coming out to the outside of this, make that a bit bigger for you. Then what we're able to do, if we go to Effect and 3D again, okay, that will give us a 3D letter form, which we can then rotate in a space. So it's very, very quickly you can start to see how, if you want to work with typography on screen, even if you were just using these as different elements, you could compose on screen almost like you would do thumbnailing, like a digital thumbnail, and then save that, or you could then trace that off at a later date and then paint or do something by hand. You can actually take it into print, take it into lino, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's just that recap over and done with. Okay, there's your 2D shape made into 3D, and then this one is your typography, which is actually a 3D type, and that at the moment, because we've applied it, okay, we can actually retype any letter on there we want. Okay, so until we expand it, object expand appearance, now it's actually a form. Okay, we can't do anything with that now. We can resize it, but we can't actually do anything with it. We can't change the letter. We can come back a couple of stages to there. Okay, and now that will allow me to do that, or alternatively I can change the letter. Okay, there it is. Or alternatively I can come into appearance again, and once we're selected like that, what we've got is the extrude and bevel there that you can see, and we can change that angle of that so that we're happy with it.